January 22nd. It's a milestone for India. Not just a historic day in the world calendar. Today marks the day when India's place in the world is reaffirmed. There is no doubt that India truly is the voice of hope and peace in a world currently torn apart by war. The inauguration of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya sends out a big message. It's a message to a world marred by violence and war. As India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in his speech today, the unveiling of the Ram Lalla idol is an occasion of not merely triumph, but of humility too.
दुनिया का इतिहास साक्षी है कि कई राष्ट्र अपने ही इतिहास में उलझ जाते हैं। ऐसे देशों ने जब भी अपने इतिहास की उलझी हुई गांठों को खोलने का प्रयास किया, उन्हें सफलता पाने में बहुत कठिनाई आई, बल्कि कई बार तो पहले से ज्यादा मुश्किल परिस्थितियां बन गई। लेकिन हमारे देश ने इतिहास की इस गांठ को जिस गंभीरता और भावुकता के साथ खोला है, वो ये बताती है कि हमारा भविष्य हमारे अतीत से बहुत सुंदर होने जा रहा है।
The timing is also important. The world today is grappling with multiple conflicts. Egoistic world leaders who make selfish policies, fueling poverty, distress, suffering. The West-led global order or so-called rules-based international order. It's all falling apart right in front of our eyes. At a time like this, India stands out like a shining example. Today, the day of the inauguration of the Ram Temple, while Indians the world over rejoiced, Western media was quick to label Ram Mandir as a controversial temple. They chose to focus on its past legal battles, but the mood on the ground was quite the opposite. In Ayodhya, celebrations today reached a fever pitch. People from all walks of life, from across the nation, braved the bone-chilling cold to reach this Indian temple town. In the air were feelings of joy, happiness, peace, and a sense of belonging.
राम आग नहीं है, राम ऊर्जा है। राम विवाद नहीं, राम समाधान है। राम सिर्फ हमारे नहीं है, राम तो सबके हैं। राम वर्तमान नहीं, सिर्फ वर्तमानी नहीं, राम अनंत काल है।
The newly unveiled idol at Ayodhya represents Ram as a 5-year-old child. The temple site is revered as Lord Ram's birthplace, Ram Janmabhoomi, and where he spent his childhood. With the inauguration of the temple, many Indians are hailing it as a sign of Hindu reawakening from centuries of foreign subjugation. What Lord Ram represents is a state characterized by justice, equality, universal brotherhood, and welfare for all. In fact, poet Saint Tulsi Das articulated in his work, he envisaged a society free from suffering where every individual is taken care of. Similarly, in the Ramcharitmanas, Lord Ram represents democratic ideals, dignified conduct, societal welfare. His just and prosperous reign in Kosala served as a timeless model of virtuous governance. These values in Hindu faith are very much aligned with the democratic values in the West. Remember, Lord Ram is not a god that gives or one to whom people go with wishes, but a deity who personifies ideals of life. He is in fact a non-sectarian icon. In the Hindu epic Ramayana, Lord Ram is a noble king and an avatar of Lord Vishnu. He is forced into forest exile where he faces multiple challenges, including the abduction of his wife Sita by the demon king Ravan. The story is about the victory of good over evil, and Lord Ram is the embodiment of honorable conduct. The Indian Constitution is a fusion of these traditional Indian values and modern contemporary concepts. The Ram Mandir, therefore, is a symbol of these enduring principles. Remember, Ram's divinity is not only a dominant religious force in India, it is also part of the cultural heritage in countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Myanmar, and Malaysia. And that is exactly why the inauguration of the Ram Temple is more than just a religious event. In fact, it is being hailed as a turning point in India's cultural history. It is not premised on otherness, and that's a very important takeaway from Ayodhya. By embodying the teachings of Lord Ram, India embraces its potential power to inspire positive change in the world. How so? By guiding the world towards a society of acceptance, harmony, compassion, equality, and justice. The ideas, dharma, that is righteousness, and nyaya, that is justice, are two concepts linked to Lord Ram. These are essential to Indian culture and values. They continue to be the pillars on which Indian diplomacy functions to this day. Take the ancient Indian principle of Vasudev Kutumbakam. It means that the world is one family. This concept of universality guided India's philosophy as the president of the G20 in 2023. Another is the idea of Sarv Dharm Sambhav. All faiths are equal. Beyond self-interest, beyond partisan causes, it's these traditional ideals that have guided India since ancient times. Yes, despite these ideals etched deep in our culture, India has been challenged by forces of intolerance, discrimination and violence. But time and again, whenever they have been tested the most, Indians have spoken as one people and one nation. And that is exactly why Indian epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata are essential reading for every individual in the world. Concepts of duty, courage, love will never be out of style. It is a matter of reminding ourselves of these very ideals, of speaking truth to power, especially at a time of the growing global war. It is this duty towards humanity that is emphasized in the saga of Lord Ram. In a world where conflict and hatred prevail over reason and respect, the Ram Mandir at Ayodhya will serve as a reminder to people across the world that humanity is the basis of our existence. It's not just for the betterment of any section of society, but for the progress of the whole world. In fact, my colleague Molly Gambhir, who is in Ayodhya, has sent us this report from the ground. Take a look.
The decked-up city of Ayodhya witnessed the grand consecration ceremony at the Ram Temple, with emotions running high as enthusiastic devotees gathered here in large numbers, dancing away to express their jubilation, talking about how lucky they feel to be a part of this ceremony and to be here in the temple town on this historic day. To express their gratitude, they contributed in their own way through cultural performances, through dances dedicated to the tunes of Lord Ram, and essentially talking about how this for them is a national festival, with temples across the country, in fact, organizing special festivities to participate in the same. Molly Gambhir reporting from Ayodhya for WION World is One.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.